All right, Ethan Skolnick here for Five Reasons Sports Network, Five on the Floor podcast. On a solemn day, yesterday at around 2:30 Eastern Time, Kobe Bryant and eight others, including his daughter, passed away in a helicopter crash out in California. So obviously, this cast a pall over everything else that's going on in sports, including the Super Bowl, which we'll be covering down here this week, and also obviously the NBA schedule, which includes Miami Heat games on Monday and Tuesday here at home. I shared some thoughts on a podcast today about Kobe, but I wanted to share them here again in the context of the Miami Heat. Obviously, those in Los Angeles and around the country are going to have their own thoughts on Kobe, and they might be much more important than what I'm going to share here. But there were enough instances that I witnessed around the Miami Heat that I think give some credibility to Kobe Bryant as one of the most impactful figures over the past 25 years in the NBA. And as I said on the podcast, I saw him through the eyes of the two greatest players that I ever covered, Dwayne Wade and LeBron James, and the way that they admired him. Kobe was kind of a big brother figure to Dwayne, but in the sense of being the bar, the person that he wanted to emulate and that he wanted to reach, in the same way that Kobe, in so many ways, emulated and mimicked Michael Jordan. I think Dwayne mimicked Kobe in terms of playing style, the step back, the mid-range game, but also in the way that he conducted himself. Dwayne wasn't as hard on his teammates as Kobe was, but in terms of the relentless work ethic, the sort of, incredible desire to prove people wrong. A lot of what Dwayne would talk about, fall down, 7, get up 8, sounded like Kobe Bryant. It sounded like Mamba mentality type stuff. And many conversations I had with Dwayne about Kobe, that came across. And I posted this on a story on fivereasonsports.com. But essentially, Dwayne viewed himself as somewhere between the third and fifth best two-guard ever, but he always put Kobe second, always put Kobe ahead of himself, even though in their matchups against each other, Dwayne sometimes outperformed Kobe. In fact, it happened on a couple of Christmases, and it happened in some other situations as well. So I saw him through the eyes of Dwayne Wade. I also saw him through the eyes of LeBron James, and I think that came across here over the past few days prior to Kobe's death, where LeBron passed Kobe for third all-time in points. LeBron was always measuring himself against Kobe, but not as a basketball player, more so as an icon. I think that LeBron was always a bit jealous, I think, to a degree, of the way that Kobe's fans protected him. If you were a Kobe stan, so to speak, there was no player in the world at any point that was ever greater than Kobe Bryant. I think LeBron wanted that from his own fans, and that came across in the times that I covered him in Miami and in Cleveland. I've told this story before, but LeBron pointing out to me a meme that showed that he drew more fans on the road than Kobe did. It wasn't meant as a slight to Kobe. It was meant as a sign of respect to Kobe, that somebody as great as Kobe and as beloved as Kobe by so many people, that LeBron actually, was more of an attraction based on the attendance. So I think that relationship became obviously a lot warmer. I wasn't there on a daily basis in LA to see it, but it certainly seemed, based on the tweets that Kobe put out when LeBron passed him on the scoring list, that there was a real warmth there. And I don't know that that warmth was always there over the course of Kobe's career when he was in the NBA with LeBron, but it certainly developed. So those are my thoughts related to, obviously, to Kobe and to Dwayne and to LeBron. I have more thoughts, obviously, on Kobe as a person, Kobe as a father, which is what touched me most, particularly the way that he is with his daughters. I have a daughter of my own who's 5.5 and who loves sports herself. And the way that Kobe was with his daughter is how I imagine that I would want to be with my daughter if she ever gets into competitive sports in any way. And just generally, the pictures of the two of them reminded me a little of the pictures of myself and Sasha. So obviously a very difficult day in sports. And I think this is the most significant celebrity sports death since Roberto Clemente. And obviously Clemente was playing at the time. And so that makes it a little bit different. Kobe was retired, and he meant so much to that particular community, and obviously it was a humanitarian mission. But in terms of worldwide impact, and in the age we're in, the Twitter age, the social media age, in some ways, this is the most significant celebrity sports death we've seen. And I don't know that we quite understand what all the effects are going to be at this point, but obviously it's going to cast a pall over the Super Bowl. And then the NBA All-Star game in Chicago, I imagine, is going to be all about Kobe and David Stern, who should not be forgotten here with what occurred with Kobe Bryant. So those are my thoughts. More on the website, more on the Five on the Floor podcast. And obviously, this is what we're going to be talking about quite a bit going forward.